What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. You want to say hello, Chevy?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today?
All right. Well, we are here and we are ready for more Marvel's What If.
Yes.
This is the show where we're going to do a review and a recap of the Marvel What If series, just like we did with Loki and just like we did with Falcon. And I keep wanting to call it Captain America or always confused. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Captain America and the White Wolf.
Exactly right. There you go. Black Captain America. So we're gonna do in-depth discussions about these shows, as well as we're gonna follow up with some movie reviews or movie news and reviews and discussions and things like that that are coming up that are either pertinent to this or just in the stratosphere out there. So
yes,
let's get to it. So this is Marvel's What If episode 2. What if T'Challa became a StarLord? So this was another reimagining of a beloved hero into a different hero. Like last week we saw, or week before last we saw Agent Carter become Captain Carter, replacing Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers becoming the Hydra Stomper, essentially not replacing, but kind of being a predecessor to Iron Man, as well as a predecessor to the Iron Giant.
And Bucky not getting
captured. The Hulkbuster.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Bucky not getting captured.
That's what it's called. The Ironmonger.
What? It's the what?
The Ironmonger.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what Jebediah Stane used in Iron Man, and it was kind of similar design.
Okay. Yeah. And Bucky didn't get captured by the Red Skull.
And Bucky did not become the Winter Soldier. That's right. So lots of changes, and then we have episode 2, which we saw totally blow a lot of things out the water when it came to not only what up, though, Clark? Clark is in the building and in the chat.
Hello, Clark Node.
Smooth. Oh yeah, Smooth's going to join us. I forgot to mention that to you. Smooth said he's going to try to join us, and because he definitely wants to talk about what happened and give his insight, as well as I wanted him to discuss with us the what is the name of that movie? The Suicide Squad, but I still haven't seen it. And I meant to watch it. I just haven't had time. I've been traveling. Been a lot.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so hot.
Oh, that's all right.
I do not have air conditioner in my house.
Right. And then, Clark said, I don't know about Beloved because Peter Quill is an asshat.
Yes, that asshat. That is Peter never going
to Quill has caused his fair share of issues, but he's still a hero. He's still deep down inside. He's
something.
Yeah. So
he's something, all right.
Right. So we see T'Challa take on that mantle instead of the Black Panther mantle, and which was interesting because
nothing changed.
Right. When it comes to him, it's like he's going to be loved no matter what he does, right? That's what he does.
Exactly.
So from a standpoint of a review and your summary thoughts, how did you feel about episode 2 of What If?
I thought it was precious.
Okay.
It was. I know that's probably not the best way to put it.
I was thinking, but okay.
Yeah, but I thought it was precious. I thought it was very. I mean, especially since Chadwick Boseman is no longer here.
Yeah.
It was great that's how they chose to play that character, StarLord, bringing people together, which is what he did in life as a man, and what Black Panther did for culture in a way when it came out. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like very awesome to see that, and it also was awesome to be able to truly understand Thanos like that. That's a wipe for me. I can watch that episode And then maybe now I can go back and watch Endgame or Infinity War, because yes, people can try to argue you down about the fact that he wasn't actually a villain and blah 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 blah. But now that you see that somebody was able to talk him off the ledge in a way, you can kind of see, well, he wasn't a villain actually.
Right.
He was just a man on a mission. And I mean, we talk about it all the time, but now that I see him in a different light, like for real, maybe I kind of can have a better understanding of him as a character. And I'm kind of glad they did that as well. Again, keeping the same actors who played the characters, also great. It was great. It was beautifully done.
Indeed,
I liked it a lot.
Indeed, yeah. What would you give it? How many stars would you give it?
4.5.
4.5. All right. That's 4.5 out of 5, right? 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. And I definitely agree. I didn't think of the word precious, but I definitely thought of the word I just thought it was fantastic, right? I just thought it was awesome that they embodied it, and I'm sure part of it was just the fact that it's Chadwick Boseman, right? And everybody knows that he's so heavily loved that they wanted to translate that into this new StarLord character as what up, Smooth?
Hey,
what's going on?
Wanted to embody his leadership and his ability to bring people or I won't even say change people, but bring something out of people that brings about a change, right?
Correct.
So I think that in the grand scheme of things, the episode had a lot of great action, a lot of great laughs, a lot of great emotion, and they did it in such a way. Say it again.
Heartwarming moments.
Yeah, it's some heartwarming moments, and they did it in such a way where it actually literally to me didn't feel forced in a way. You know what I mean? Like it was some things were like, okay, they like you just mentioned about Thanos, right? It's like, what did he really do? What did he really say? Because other people tried to talk him off the ledge too, but
well, not the Avengers.
But they're right, and somehow what they're saying is that if he would have had time to meet and grow with T'Challa, he could have been rehabilitated, so to speak, right?
Or if somebody would have talked to him instead of fighting him. You're an enemy when you try to fight someone.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like at any point he could have been talked off the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
At any point he could have been talked off the ledge. Yeah. I just think that by the time the Avengers reached him, they didn't want to talk. They wanted to fight. So there was no talk. Right. And he was at the point of, anytime you almost done with something, you like, regardless.
It says time to finish. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the timeline, right? The timeline difference, right?
Right.
We're talking, a kid who probably in his teens probably talked to Thanos and was like, look, this is really what we should be doing.
Right.
Versus them, Thanos going that 20, 30, 40 years and then, going on his mission, right? So I think that overall the episode I think was way better than the first episode. Definitely what we needed to really get our interest peaked as what this is going to unfold into, as well as gave us a great tribute to Chadwick Boseman, even though this is not the only episode he's going to be in.
He's going to be in like 3 more episodes, right?
Yeah, 3 more episodes. So he recorded a total of 4 episodes, and so I'm definitely looking forward to more StarLord, more Ravagers, and more Captain Genocide. I definitely gave it a 4.5 out of 5 as well. Smooth. From a summary standpoint, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was dope. I like the tribute to Chadwick. I'm more like y'all. I thought Thanos stole the show. Mm-hmm. The episode to me, he was. I like how they. You feel me? He kept trying to explain, but like he had a point to what he was trying to do. Like, like he was trying to say, it made sense. That's what he kept trying to tell him. It made sense. Y'all got to hear me out. But so I like that aspect of it. I liked how Nebula, you feel me, she came back. You feel me, like that's my pop. You feel me, like at the end of the day, that's I like that aspect of it. I like the new dude. I like his the one who took over Thanos' spot.
Oh, you talking about the Collector?
Yeah,
Collector, yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I liked his character as well. You know, for me, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I think they covered all bases to me.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like the action was on point. I felt like all the characters was like developed, so to speak.
Yeah.
You feel me? I felt
like
they were all developed. They didn't leave you wondering, I mean, like, what about this, that, and the third? So, you know, I mean, I gave it a 5.
Okay, all right, I'm with that. I might even change my score later. All right, so let's get right into the spoilers. Like, if you haven't watched episode 2 of What If, go watch it. Come back, watch this later. You know, catch the replay. We will be here. All right. But now we're about to spoil the hell out of this. Let's get to it. So, what if T'Challa became a StarLord? We started off with T'Challa in his StarLord gear, but he also had a few Wakandan pieces walking into the chamber on the unknown world, on the abandoned world. Kind of the same way we saw Peter Quill in the original timeline, or what I like to call the sacred timeline. And but we saw a change in the situation, right? He gets caught by, what was the guy's name? Corian?
I just call him Damon Hansu. So
right. So he comes in and he catches him just like he had caught the original StarLord, and this time T'Challa turns around, takes his mask off, and he knows who he is, and he's literally a fanboy.
A fan right? In out. He fanning out.
He was definitely in love. Which, you know, when it happened, I already was like, I pretty much figured they were going to do that, but then I just didn't expect it to be at that level, and for him to be like literally like, you know what, this is about to be the most awesome thing that happens in my life kind of situation. I thought
he might have stole the show too. He might have.
He did.
Yes,
he did.
He might get to a second. He might. In my opinion, hit to a second.
Yeah, Damon Hansu killed.
Sadly, we don't know his name. I can look it up real quick. But
Damon Hansu killed that. He killed that. Because I forgot he was in actually Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. He definitely didn't have a huge role. He showed up in Guardians, and I believe he was also in Captain Marvel, if I'm not mistaken.
Was he?
He definitely had a limited.
He sure was.
Yeah. So he had a limited appearance.
You know, he better make this money because he been in Aquaman. He been in Shazam. Yes. He done been in all the little comic book movies. He better make his comic book movie money.
He played 2 different DC characters.
Yeah, he played the green guy, the green fish guy in Aquaman, and he played the guy, the Shazam. He played Shazam. I don't know what his, you know.
Yeah, they call him the Wizard, but yeah.
Yeah, but he played the man man with the plan. No,
that's wild. That's wild. So yeah, so he's Korath. That's his name.
Korath. You would not. Nobody would have remembered that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that was like you said, going into coming from the original timeline, we never really got to know him really that well, right? But you know, in this one, he definitely, like you said, Smooth, he definitely stole the show. The sparring happened, right? What did y'all think of that action?
I thought it was funny because he kept telling him like, "Oh, you want to fight me? Okay, hit me. Do this, do that." You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It was like he
go ahead.
He ain't really want to fight him. He ain't really want to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made it funny to me. It was like, man, I got to do my job, but like this is an opportunity of a lifetime. You feel me for him? So I mean, that's what made it comical to me. I like that scene. And then he caught T'Challa. He caught T'Challa one time.
Yep.
Oh yeah. He got him in that he like when he was doing the little punching and he punched him in the face, and then he was like, you know what, do it again, do it faster.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, I never freeze.
right. Exactly. So yes, I definitely enjoyed that as well. Thought it was funny. That was one thing about it. It's like I really enjoyed the what you call it, the comedy
banter.
right, exactly, the comedic banter, the timing, right? So I thought that was awesome that they were able to kind of capture that even in a cartoon.
Yeah.
Now I had a question. Is this where the episode starts? Is this after? Does the scene where he actually gets taken up in the ship happen after this or before this?
It happens after this.
Okay.
Yeah. So after they finish the fight, or after he beats them, and then he escapes the robots using basically the same thing that Quill did with the I don't know what that little plate was that caused the little explosion. He goes out, finds the whole platoon out there waiting on him, and then he has to fight his way out with
Yondu.
With Yondu helping him, right? Basically Yondu saving him and getting him out of the situation, and then we get to see the backstory after that, right? Yondu, I think was played by Michael Rooker. Mm-hmm. And I believe he reprised his role as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, I think a handful of characters that
everybody
were replaced, but everybody else was definitely
even the dad was the same dad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so the backstory we get to see is T'Challa, talking to his dad, telling him he wants to, go out into the or not only just go out into the world, but he wants Wakanda to kind of basically be a part of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same arguments that we saw in the Black Panther movie, the same situation, but we get to see T'Chaka in his Black Panther gear like he was in the original movie. Basically having that conversation with his son about why he felt that mankind was not either not ready for what Wakanda had to offer, but also not worthy, right? Basically. Right.
And then also, he explained to T'Challa, I mean, like, you're supposed to be a king, but you're more like an explorer.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like, he was basically schooling him at the same time. Like, in order for you to be a king, you got to change your mindset. You got to do what's best for Wakanda. And I just think as a young man, he just wanted to explore. You feel me? He wasn't thinking about being no king. He wasn't thinking about, ruling over people. He wanted to help people, but, he was more like a soldier than a leader.
Right.
Oh, Clark mentioned that we probably forgot about him too because he died in Guardians. I don't remember him dying. I don't
either.
Was definitely a second, like an afterthought in Guardians.
Yeah, he had a way bigger role in Captain Marvel.
Exactly. So yeah. What was the word? After he had that conversation with his dad, he runs out into the I guess the prairie or whatever you call it, the safari, or I don't know what they call it back there. But he goes out, pops out of the bubble, and then waiting on him is the Ravagers.
Right, because they can't do stuff right. So
exactly.
They picked up the wrong kid.
Can't do nothing right. And I thought that was hilarious too when he asked them, does this look like, do these two kids look alike? And they're like, he's got a mouth, he's got ears, I was like, bro, that was the most hilarious thing. Like they basically said all humans look alike.
Well, I mean, we do that too.
Exactly.
But that's exactly what he said though. He said, "Oh, the one dude's like all humans look alike." That's what he showed in the picture. It's like, do this look like that? You know what I mean?
Right. He's like, yeah. Basically, it does.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, it's got sprouting hair. It's got holes in its face. Yeah. That's the same thing.
But yeah, like then it's cool because in that same scene you get introduced to all of these characters again. And you kind of want, to me, it made me wonder, like, they were on a mission to kidnap a kid, but how bad were they at that time? You know?
I mean, well, you got to think at that time they were definitely, you know, some of the worst outlaws in the galaxy, or in the I don't know what they call that sector or that quadrant, but they basically were I won't say feared, but they were definitely known, right? So they were up to no good all the way through, but they were also a small band of a larger band of outlaws. If you recall from the Guardians movie, Sylvester Stallone was like the main Ravager, but he had his own group, and then they were another group that was under his group, right? So there was all these different Ravager groups that all kind of answered to the same hierarchy. So they were a very organized crime syndicate, basically.
Oh, kind of like Mandalorians.
Yes,
I mean, like when he went to go get his little
exactly.
gigs.
So there's like a syndicate, and everybody basically is doing their own thing, but they answer to a greater organization. So they were definitely not the good guys. They were also, when they were picking up StarLord, they were doing it because Ego had put a bounty on picking up his children all over the universe, right? So it was like, go get these kids, and to them, I mean, that's another thing I thought was poignant about the fact that they said all humans look alike. They didn't look at us as equals or as similar beings. They looked at us as just another, like an animal, basically.
Right, but you even get that from Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, the way they talked about Peter Quinn. Oh, the human. Oh, he's the human. How can he be so great? How can he be the StarLord?
Exactly. So, and to answer Clark's question, he says, how did they end up in Wakanda when they were supposed to be in America? You also got to think, this is just a giant globe, right? You pull up and you're just in orbit, and they were basically looking for a signature. They were like, let's look for a cosmic extraterrestrial signature. And the meteor, right, that's under Wakanda is definitely much bigger than Star-Lord's celestial signature, because he's only half celestial. So you're talking one person versus this giant meteorite that's, I think it's this like double or triple the size of the Wakandan village, right? So or Wakandan city
nation.
So you're talking about this huge thing, which, you know, now it makes me wonder, like, how did they miss it before? But then, like,
right, but that's what I'm saying. So you just made me think of a whole holy thing. You made me think about a whole nother thing.
What's that?
I thought I thought they addressed that in the show. Then they say that it was the vibranium. They got
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what T'Challa told him, like, hey, it's probably because we're sitting on a meteorite, because vibranium is actually just a meteorite. It fell down on Earth, plunged into the ground, and then they built their village on top of it, basically covering the meteorite, and now they mine it. That's why we saw in the movie underground all the vibranium mining ores and all that kind of stuff. So I think that from a standpoint of that, that definitely makes sense. It's weird they didn't notice it in the original timeline, but then again, they were also more focused. Like Clark said, they had Yondu actually, controlling the narrative at that point, and he was definitely a much more experienced Ravager versus the other two guys who went out there looking for the kids. So definitely made for a unique situation. Later on, we get to see basically the team, right, show up and have some more stories together, right?
Chilling at the bar that Nebula owns, I guess.
Right. And so, from a standpoint of understanding, like Smooth said earlier, the development, right, and understanding who these characters are, I think we got to see a lot of that. I'll let you guys take it away in terms of what you thought about, seeing the different members, and then eventually seeing our good friend Captain Genocide.
I thought honestly, it reminded me of like the Mandalorian. It reminded me of how in every Star Wars movie, the person goes back to the bar to collect their bounty and drink and do whatever they do. And everybody, you get to meet a host of different characters, and there's all these different type of aliens, and all these different type of people. It kind of definitely served me like Mandalorian or Star Wars in general vibes, like Star Wars Episode 6 vibes, or you know what I'm saying? It definitely served me like those vibes. But it was cool kind of seeing, because I didn't know Nebula was gonna be here. I didn't know Thanos was gonna be here. I didn't know all of these things were gonna happen. So it was kind of cool to see these characters kind of wondering like if Nebula and T'Challa got something going on, or you know what I'm saying? Just all of those different things. Seeing Nebula as a person, because we didn't start to see her as a person to midway through Endgame. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Seeing Thanos as a person, seeing him as a person laughing and joking and talking and hanging out and having fun and what's up, y'all? Kind of like a Cheers vibe, like everybody knows your name kind of thing. It was definitely, I don't know these people, but we have experienced so much loss in the MCU. We have experienced so much devastation, and it's always these big, like when we get together to watch these movies, there's a conflict. And I'm not saying there wasn't a conflict here, but there was a very pure moment of just peace, of normalcy, of their normalcy, of a new normalcy, where we're not sitting at a table with Loki and Sylvie waiting for something to happen. We're just sitting at a table watching them live their daily life in this new version of a world where these people are at peace. And it was good to see.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's a good point. I enjoyed that too, like the camaraderie of it all. You feel me? All of them to be on the same squad. To Clark Nova's point, I thought the taser face, that was the bartender, right?
Yeah, no, that was that's the guy who had the crazy tattoos all over his face.
Yeah. I thought that scene was funny. He was trying to take the picture with T'Challa. I thought that scene was funny. And I think that's when Nebula came in, right?
Yeah, Nebula came in.
That's when Nebula was introduced. I thought that whole scene with them together, like I said, I thought Thanos stole that scene. You feel me? For me, when he was sitting there trying to explain to him, and everybody just looking at him like, "Are you serious?" You feel me? And I like the way they made him look.
Yes.
You feel me? That's another thing. He didn't look as menacing.
No.
No, I mean he didn't look evil.
Nope.
You feel me? He just looked, you could tell it's Thanos, but he looked regular. You know what I mean? He just looked like a regular dude that's just big.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what was great about that? They introduced his voice before they showed him. So you heard him and then you saw him. He was like, oh my gosh.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like the way they put it together to me was perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think everything was on point. Everything from the like you said, the comedic timing, to how they introduced each character in each scene, and how they made them look. You feel me? Like he looked inviting.
Yes.
He looked inviting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I thought that was dope.
Like you say, he was one of the boys. He was one of the boys.
Yeah, he was one of the boys. And it makes you, because it's especially like we all fans of the whole series. So like you were saying, when you go back and flash back to the movies and you're thinking about Thanos, and then you look at him here, it's like the contrast is so different. You feel me? But you enjoy it. So I thought that was dope.
But it makes you wonder.
Actually, so this is who you were talking about. That's Drax.
Yeah, that's Drax.
That's Drax.
Yeah.
Drax. Yeah, Drax is always hilarious. Drax is always
yeah. He was like, you look terrible in this.
Yeah, but what was cool, what was really cool about that was the fact that his wife and kid were still alive.
Yeah, he was
because Thanos hadn't gone out and decimated half the galaxy.
Like that's so crazy. That's so crazy to me. Like that's what was blowing my mind. This version of the story. First of all, this scene made me say, Peter Quill is terrible. That's what it made me say first. And then second, it just made me happy. Like maybe in this world, nobody had to die. Maybe in this world, everybody could live peacefully. Maybe this was just this timeline, this gave me so much hope for what could have been, even though we know it's not possible. It's good to know that somewhere out there in the universe, Drax's family is okay. Peter Quill is working at Dairy Queen and he didn't get stolen by Yondu, who treated him like crap for the better part of his life. So he had to go out and do his own thing. And he was traumatized by that situation. Right, somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Yep.
Like it was good to know that at least somewhere these people were able to have some type of normal lives. Even Nebula, because Nebula is a very deep character and she has a lot of deep-seated issues, and for her to turn on somebody that she not only loved in a way but feared, because she had like whatever that is when you agree with your captor. I can't think of the name of it, but whatever.
Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah, she had that. Yeah. So like for her to turn against him in the end game was a really big deal, and for now to see her with hair, you know, having this life, having a bar that she owns, still having some trauma because Thanos did try. He did experiment on her a little bit. She did have issues with her father, but there was a point where she couldn't even be in the same room with her father unless he forced her to be. Right. So just to see that and understand that, yeah, you know, there may have been some issues at one point. Not saying this one man was able to bring all this together and stop this, but theoretically, yes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just you know, it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that.
Indeed. Yeah. So after we got to see all the camaraderie, we got like you said, we got introduced to our new version of Thanos, a new version of Nebula, all of the different characters that, you know, are now a part of this Ravager team. And then Nebula starts to talk to them about the plan, right? In terms of stealing the of course I can't remember
the little green things.
Yeah,
so they could grow.
Right. The Genesis. Yeah, the Genesis sale. So they got that. This is the MacGuffin of the episode. They were going out to go try to get this from the Collector, right? So we know the Collector from, again, Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as from, I think they made mention of him during...
He was in Infinity War.
Yep, yeah. They made mention of him in Infinity War.
Because they went there to go try to stop Thanos from getting the other stone.
Exactly, yep. So we got to...
but he killed him, didn't he? Thanos killed the Collector in Infinity War. Okay.
Yeah, the Collector was definitely not going to be caught. He was not having that. So we did get to see, or did get to learn about that from Nebula. We got to see that interaction between Nebula and Thanos in terms of, you know, their relationship still being estranged, right? You know, I definitely felt like you said, Chevy, is that, you know, whatever happened, it was enough to still push her to feel like, you know what, I still don't trust him the way I would have liked, or I still got daddy issues, or whatever you want to call it.
It's like that's still my daddy.
One thing I think we missed too, though, is like what was the turning point, right? At what point did he take her to, and then, you know, what she had been doing, right? We really didn't understand that either. So that's the only kind of questions that I definitely had coming away from this.
Say that again now.
Like what was the turning point where he had taken her? Like how far had he taken her in those experiments or in the things he made her do? Right? Because in the Sacred Timeline, he had made her do everything from, you know, killing and destroying, and
I mean, but he took her body parts.
He was taking her body apart, right? He had replaced, I forgot how much of her, but
pretty much all of her.
Exactly. Yeah, there was only so much biological material left in her body, where here I think we see
it's only her eye.
Yeah, I think
that's why she had it covered.
Yeah. So it was only, you know, maybe some parts of her brain or something, but I think he started with her brain, but, you know, maybe only some parts versus, you know, half her brain or 3/4 of her brain being cybernetic. So we definitely have a a lot less trauma that was done, but trauma nonetheless. Like you said, Chevy, is that T'Challa couldn't fix everything. It was just more of stopping things from getting out of hand.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. I think he was trying to say the awkwardness on his face.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the awkwardness on his face.
But yeah, that's because you definitely don't want to be in between a father and daughter that are having issues
are at odds with each other. I mean, I get it though. You know what I'm saying? I get it. That's still her daddy though. So
exactly.
And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It didn't go so far to the point where, and I mean, even in Endgame, that was still her daddy though, and she knew that what she was doing, going against him, would be the ruin of their relationship or the death of her father. And she still had to go back and forth with herself about what she was going to do and why she was going to do it. So whether it was choosing to save her father because that was her father, even though they had a sordid past, or choosing to save a tyrant, or letting him, or choosing to lose her father, who was a tyrant who was trying to take over the world, she still had to make that decision. Because she could have let him die either. You know what I'm saying? She could let him die there too.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if he took 3 parts of her brain or 1 part of her brain, it's still messed up.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, still messed up all the way around. And like Clark said, it spoke that interaction between them spoke to her anger, to the level of I won't say hatred, but it was definitely some supreme dislike going on between her and her father. Right. So that was the biggest thing. Yondu tried to fight them on the idea of even going after something that the Collector had.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, do you think that he didn't want him to go there because he knew that ship was there? No, and that's why he was fighting?
He did say later that he didn't know the ship was there.
Okay.
He didn't. He pretty much didn't expect to be caught in that lie. So I think that was the big thing. But he knew that the Collector had some supreme material over there that was going to be ready to fight them off. And no matter how great no matter how great the plan was, they were going to be in some trouble. So
that's what I don't want to jump the gun because we're going to get to that. But I did have an issue with them not really going into why Yondu lied to T'Challa.
Oh, right.
Like they touched on it a little bit, but that was, and for him to be so forgiving so easily, I mean, I guess that
we're gonna talk about it because I don't think, but we're gonna talk.
I figured it was the same reason why he did it to Peter Quill, and I just left it at that. To be honest,
we're gonna touch on that when we get to that part of the show. So they get to the Collector's I guess museum on the planet Nowhere, or the giant celestial head floating out in space, and they start talking about the plan. They're gonna go in, with basically a Trojan horse style plan. They're gonna use the distraction of the Ravagers outside having the fight, causing a riot. I forgot what they're called, but those guards that Thanos was using at one point. Now the Collector.
Yeah, all of his people worked for the Collector. Exactly. The lady, the ugly guy, the ugly guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know their names. I don't.
Yeah. So
they just ugly as hell.
right. So he has the original team that Thanos had.
Was Longface there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them were there. Yep.
Okay.
They had them all. So they were basically, ready for anything for the most part. But the plan, it did progress the way they originally assumed, and they were able to get in. They at least were able to get in, and then we started to see, a little glimpse of what the Collector was collecting, right?
Like how bad it got since the timeline changed. Like it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if some of the timeline changes really affected everything that he had, or if it was just. But it did definitely look more daunting than the original timeline, you know,
Yeah,
in terms of
and a lot of the things he had was like, oh my God, what happened to them?
exactly.
Oh my God, what happened to them? Oh my God, what happened to that person? Like, oh my goodness, oh my God. So I mean, like, I'm happy about Thanos, but like, what happened in the midst of Thanos not being Thanos?
Exactly. Like you said, a lot of people didn't die, but then also we're seeing, like Clark said, the weapons he acquired from the shield to Thor's hammer, Hela's helmet.
Yes, that
you know,
blew me.
he had Korg's arm.
Mhm.
He literally killed Korg, right? From Ragnarok. You know, and so it questions, you know, did they die? Are they ahead in the timeline somehow? Like what happened? Like what happened to these people that we so know and love that are like something's going on? Like something.
Well, we didn't love Hela. I loved Hela, but I mean, you know, I loved.
But, you know, everybody else, right? You know? Yeah, but it was still. I mean, you gotta think Hela destroyed Mjolnir, right?
Right.
And he even had Mjolnir. So it's
like, so what the
where
hell?
Where did he catch her at? Where did he catch her slipping at? Right?
What the hell? Or did I don't know. That kind of blew me.
Were those Loki's blades he was throwing around before he brought out Hela's blades? It was crazy.
I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And he had something else too that was very pivotal. I just can't think of what it was. And that scene kind of stressed me out because I was happy all the way up until that point. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my goodness. What happened to everybody else though?
Right.
Like
exactly.
What happened to Earth? What happened to Asgard?
But even before we got there, you feel me? You got to fight. Even because we jumped the gun. Before you even get to that part today fighting, that Howard the Duck, that's what all
Howard the Duck scene
played by Seth Green.
Like I forgot how funny Howard the Duck was, and
that's one of my top 10 movies.
Yeah, exactly. They seriously.
I have never seen that.
Howard the Duck. I mean, probably not a Howard the Duck movie, but they got to get them into a full movie somehow. You know.
I never seen the Howard the Duck movie. The only reason why I never watched it because it was one of the worst movies rated ever in the history of movies.
Oh man!
So that's fine.
Well, we were kids when it came out, so it was. We thought it was good.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite kid movies ever. I love Howard the Duck.
But you know, the only reason why they introduced him is because he was in. A glimpse of him was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was in one of the cages just like there.
Yeah. So, and he was played by Seth Green. Good old Seth Green.
But they thought what's the name turned on him in this episode before we even got to that fight scene.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They thought Nebula had turned on him.
Oh yeah.
You feel me? So I mean, that threw me for a loop too, because I thought she turned on him too.
I did too.
Right, exactly.
And he also discovered the Wakandan ship.
Part here, while they were distracting them and doing a little riot and all that kind of stuff, we got to see T'Challa going through the museum. He meets Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck takes him on a quick tour and then leaves him at the bar.
Yeah, because he's an alcoholic.
He runs into the Wakandan spacecraft, and that he was definitely shocked to see. And then he goes in and he sees the little setup and everything, but because it's him, basically the holographic message system comes on, and he gets to see a glimpse of his father in his older age, sending out a distress signal looking for him.
Right.
He thought that he was alone in the universe.
Yes, because Yondu told him that Wakanda was destroyed. And when I heard that, I said, how Wakanda get destroyed? It's damn Wakanda. Damn, what is going on?
What happened to Earth?
That's what I said.
Got destroyed. That's what I was like, there's no way the Wakanda got destroyed and Earth didn't. You know what I mean? So I was assuming they had blown up Earth. I was like, it happened it happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I was like, well, must have been the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. situation, right?
I was
where they
like,
destroyed the entire planet. But that's not the only way you're gonna take out the Wakandans.
Yeah, because I'm like, Lord, what had happened to the Earth? What happened to it? Because if you took out Wakanda, it's some serious stuff. And I was like, well, maybe. I was just like, I'm not hearing that. I was like, I didn't hear that. I was just kind of like, I'm in denial. That's not true. He tripping. And then when I found out it wasn't true, I said, see, because Wakanda is not going nowhere. No.
Right. Exactly. So yeah. So So after they figured out what that there was a distraction, they send the crew in. They start busting heads. They find Yandu and T'Challa in the ship, bring them on, and then I think they were actually having the argument already about what was going on. So I mean, going back to what you were saying earlier in terms of why he felt the need to lie, I think it was the same. I think it was the same reasoning that Yandu lied to Peter.
Yeah,
he started to take a liking to him. He started to feel like he was a part of the Ravager crew, and he even said it in the show. He said, "Look, your past is the past. Your what you created here, what you built here is the future. This here is your family, and it's just like a gang, right? It's basically like a gang. When you join a gang, you don't join the gang and then the gang go check on your family, homie. You know what I mean? Unless it's your immediate family, but they're not like, oh, go check on your cousins. SA, make sure you go. You know what I mean? They're like, we're your family now. You're in with us. There's no way you are going out there, searching for your family and leaving us behind. We're your family now, right? And I think it was that kind of ideology. But then also, just like with Quill, T'Challa was a son to Yandu, right? He felt like he was, his kid, and that he had raised him to be the great man that he is, and he didn't want to let that go. He felt like that was, that would be, I'm sure as much as macho and big bad that he is, he didn't want to admit he definitely had fatherly feelings for that young man.
Yeah, Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins. But I also believe, because he also said, basically the conversation that T'Challa was having with his dad in the beginning, a king versus an explorer. He kept saying, "You're not a king, you're an explorer." You know what I'm saying? If you go back to Wakanda, you're going to have to be responsible for Wakanda. You're not going to be able to make the changes that you're making in the world. So I'm telling you, I didn't tell you because I knew you would go home. And whatever change that you made in me, whatever change you were making in the people around you, that would cease to exist because only you can do that.
Right. Indeed. Yeah, this is Taser Face. This is Taser Face.
Yeah. That's the one that said, "Nah, I mean, all humans look alike."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Looks like that was one of Clark Noved's favorite guys on the
I don't even remember that guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
So yeah.
Now,
they definitely had a relationship that, and actually I was, even though I feel T'Challa on being betrayed. I feel him on feeling like, he did have another family that he needed to either check on or be worried about. But I think he dismissed the obvious fact that is they did create a family, right? And especially behind him, like what Quill had was dysfunctional with the
that
right?
was a mess.
That was totally dysfunctional.
Messy.
But what I think what T'Challa created is a more cohesive and more noble thing. You know what I'm saying? He made the most of what he had, right? And took it even further, right? So I think that he kind of I kind of felt like he was wrong for dismissing.
I don't think he dismissed it. Like we all, when you love somebody, bro, like when you really love somebody, and then you find out that person that you love so dearly has lied to you for so long. I don't care how much good has came out of that lie. You feel me? You still lied to me. You still kept me in the dark. You feel me? So at the end of the day, you kind of feel foolish in some way. Gotcha. You feel me? Yeah. So I think that's kind of the emotion that sparked him to react like that.
Right.
Like, bro, like I loved you like a father. You feel me?
Right.
You called me your son. I think he even said it.
Yeah, he even said it.
That's my son.
Yeah.
You understand? So if I'm accepting that accepting you as that fatherly figure, but you lying to me
Right.
all these years.
You basically tricked me
I'm
into this situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a different type of way.
If you know my character and you know who I am, even if I went home at this point, you're never not going to be that to me. You know what I'm saying? If you knew me and you knew my character, you wouldn't have lied to me all these years, because I love you the way I love my dad. I love you the way I love. Technically, when you think about it, he got him when he was a kid, but T'Challa was all about that explore life. He literally kidnapped Peter Quill. Peter Quill was afraid of him. He didn't like him. He wanted to go home. He made the best out of a bad situation. T'Challa, on the other hand, wanted to be there.
Yeah, he
didn't
was
want to go home.
Let's go.
Exactly. He was all about it. He probably didn't start wanting to go home until he got older, until he started thinking about his family again, until he started missing them again. But instead of him just saying, well, in fact, I know where your family is, or I can give you a choice, he took that choice away from him.
Yeah, indeed.
And that's what makes it not right. I don't think he dismissed it either. I just think in anger, those are the things that people say when they're hurt. And he was genuinely hurt. And I don't disagree with him in his hurt, because the difference between Peter Quill and T'Challa is T'Challa welcomed everything that he had. Right. So to lie to him doesn't make sense. To lie to Peter Quill totally makes sense.
And to Chevy's point, knowing T'Challa's character, knowing that he is an explorer more than a king, all he had to be like, well, listen, bro, you want to just stop back to the crib, check on your people, and then like we can get back on to doing what we do. And that's all he would have had to do. You know what I mean? T'Challa probably would have just stopped in, checked on them from here and there, and kept it moving.
Right.
You understand? It would have been that simple. But like Chevy said, to remove that choice from him, you know what I mean, was tight foul.
Right, because his father would have been dead in our timeline, the sacred timeline, but because he never even had to interact with the Avengers, and the Winter Soldier was never turned, Bucky was never turned into the Winter Soldier, none of that happened. So we looking at an aged father and saying, damn, his daddy is alive here. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not even really thinking about it, because you still have to get used to the fact that you're watching another timeline. So
that was one thing that stood out to me, was that the fact that because the Winter Soldier was never created, T'Chaka was still alive.
Correct.
And I was like, oh shoot, like, you know, this is the life he could have had with his father, mother, and sister, but he got that, you know, he lost out on that because, like you said, he was deceived to believe that they were all gone.
Correct.
And like Clark said, the only thing that Yondu kept telling Peter was that he was going to feed him to the crew if he ever tried to escape, and he was only keeping him around because he fit in small spaces. So, you know, he just eventually started to like the kid and want to keep him around just because outside of that. But, you know, with T'Challa, like y'all said, is that was a relationship that T'Challa welcomed, that he wanted. You know, it was that opportunity that he seized. And you're right, Smooth. If he would have been given the opportunity, I think he would have taken the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm gonna go home for a few days, a week, a month, and then, you know what, I gotta get out of here. Like I've seen the universe, and I gotta go back. So
especially since his father was still alive.
I'll see y'all in a minute. You know?
Right, his father was still alive. He didn't have to be king. He didn't have to have that responsibility, so he didn't have to stay. He could have did that.
But think how ill the writing is. You know, I love the writing.
Yes. Yeah.
You feel me? At the end of the day, he still lost his relationship with his father, his real father. You know what I mean? In a regular timeline, his dad was murdered. You feel me? In this timeline, his dad never really got a chance to raise him into a man. You feel me? So like the writing to me is like, that's ill. You feel me? Because it's basically how the saying go, as much as things change, some things stay the same. You feel me? And that was ill right there how they did that.
But that's another good thing that you mentioned, because that goes back to the first episode, where even though the timeline changed, Peggy and Steve still never got to have a relationship. So some things in the timeline still do remain the same.
Yeah. Those Nexus event, they can't be changed.
Because every character have things that just have to happen for them, no matter what it is.
Indeed.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Interesting.
Yeah. So after that exchange of all the emotions and all the anger, they finally split up the group. They take T'Challa, throw him inside of his. I keep wanting to call it a cage. I don't know if you call it a cage, a box, whatever.
Yeah.
Throw him in a box.
His collectible case.
His collectible case, right? His collectible case. And then the collector comes to talk to him, and they have their back and forth, their little exchange back and forth. T'Challa is basically buying time, right? We didn't know at this moment, but we knew that somehow he's got to get out of this, right? So he's buying time. They're talking it over, and I think this was at the point where he's telling him like, look, I get everything I want. I want you to be here. You're gonna be here. In my collection. And so T'Challa, uses his panther necklace in order to break out of the cage and then confront the collector. And then we find out the awful truth. He's at the Funko Pop protector.
And then simultaneously at the same time, that's when they found out, because they mad at Nebula.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, damn, word is bond. You just turn on us like that. And that's when she was like, nah, homie just like to keep things to his chest. My boy, there you go.
Exactly. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I think I know we all were fooled.
Yes, because I definitely was like, same damn Nebula, different damn day.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely didn't expect it. Definitely didn't know that was going to turn out to be the real situation. Was that basically her and T'Challa cooked up this whole scheme in order to even further, not only get her out of her situation, but get what they wanted out of getting that Genesis. He said Chevy is the collector. Look behind. You keep T'Challa in the back in the case.
I really do have T'Challa in the back. StarLord T'Challa too.
Is StarLord T'Challa?
Yes.
Bro, and the truth comes out.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny. That's funny right there. That's dope. That even Clark Nova even peeped that. I ain't even peeped that. That's dope.
That's hilarious.
So we get to see the team get back together, go back on their mission. They're out there searching for the Genesis beam. I don't know what that thing was.
Oh, well,
I'm making sure.
Yeah, what I just think is Jack the Beanstalk. They beanstalk grower
yes.
things. Because when I saw what those things could do, I said, "Oh my God, they really can save somebody!"
It was just a little bit too. It was like what, a couple,
like three of them.
Yeah,
it was like three of them, and she put that in that man's mouth, and he exploded into a beanstalk, basically.
What shocked me is how they was beating the hell out of Thanos.
Oh, he was getting his butt whooped. I said he ain't all that strong without that gauntlet. Like, shoot.
Yeah, like homie, big homie, that was his boy, was whooping his head. He was whooping his head.
It make you wonder though, if he was doing experiments on Nebula, there was a reason for that. Who's to say he wasn't doing the same things on himself that was successful?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, we just assumed that he was a Titan, so that made him strong enough to do all this stuff. But he could, like you said, he could have been enhanced himself as well at that point in the timeline.
And I mean, I feel like every time we saw him, he had a stone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Later on, he ended up picking up multiple stones, and we were watching him just evolve into this.
Yeah,
into this god, basically.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, Thanos, regular Thanos, just like everybody else a little bit."
Right. Exactly.
Nebula told him, like, they're gonna kill you. You feel me? Like you feel me? He was like, I got it. And I think that sacrifice, when she seen him make that sacrifice, that's what turned something into her, and she just couldn't leave him.
Yeah, because he was mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What you gonna do? Like, I'm about to get mad.
I was like, you ain't get mad enough, sir, because you getting your butt whooped. But it's that lady fault. It's the lady fault, the bad guy lady who was on Thanos' team. I don't know what her name is, but she was whooping their ass. Period.
Midnight, yeah.
She was getting in their butts. She the reason why the whole plan got technically figured out in the first place when they was fighting outside.
But yeah, right, because she noticed that they were all Ravagers, and so she called the crew and told them, "Hey, you know what? We got to regroup. We got to regroup." So yeah,
I didn't like her then. I don't like her now.
Yeah. She's always in the mix. She's always
she was the hardest one for them to kill.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even think they killed her in this thing, did they?
Nah.
No, I don't think they killed her in here. But it took them forever to kill her in the Infinity War.
Right, exactly.
They had to jump her, didn't they?
Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah, then it was like Black Widow. All the ladies had to get her.
Yeah,
dude, Scarlet Witch, everybody.
right.
Word up.
So yeah,
but
like you said, the big sacrifice, the sacrifice play that did it all. You know, they made it. You know, so that they could all escape. All the whatever, you know, like you said, the beanstalk was after them.
Man, that was crazy.
T'Challa and Yondu were still fighting the Collector, still trying to get away from the Collector. This episode was just so action packed. I mean, it really was. Really
was. So I thought if Yondu little arrow got broken, like he got hurt, that don't do nothing to him.
No, I forgot how it works, but I think it's cybernetic, or it's somehow it's tied to him, but not like that. I think it's just it just only works when he uses it.
Okay.
He's commanding it. Yeah.
Okay. Because he broke his little arrow, and I was like, "Oh my God, Yondu about to die," and I was like, "Oh, he's still okay." Okay.
No, I think it is that he doesn't have another, you know, power or nothing like that. That's his thing. Is that I don't know what to call it, that wand.
Oh, speaking of Yondu, so y'all know how in the original the Guardians of the Galaxy he makes the comment of being Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah,
did y'all hear how he did the Robin Leach thing in this one? It was a joke, and he basically said Robin Leach, but he was like, no, Robin somebody else.
Oh yeah, he's trying to say Robin Hood, but he's
he's like Robin. Yeah, he said Robin Leach instead of Robin Hood. I was like
that. I heard him mess it up, but I didn't pay attention to what he was saying.
Yeah, I was like, oh, here they go with this again. I was like,
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, no, my favorite part was when they finally beat the Collector, and then old girl got the control.
Yeah, that reminded me.
And I didn't realize, because I saw on one of the recap videos that I watched that her species is the Krylons that they were talking about regenerating the planet.
Oh, so
she is a Krylon, and then on top of that, another not version of her, but another person from her planet was in I guess Guardians 2. That it was the girl that was with Peter Quill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. He was trying to get her, trying to have sex with her, or something like that. But yeah, so
I think her and T'Challa going to link back up in the future episode.
Oh, okay.
Because you see the little chemistry they little had.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But she was already listening to everything he had to say.
Yeah. I think that's a little foreshadowing. I think
this scene reminded me of Detroit Being Human. Like the scene, I don't know if y'all played that game, but it's like a scene where all the robots kind of like overcome their maker and like take them over and everything like that. And it reminded me of that. Like, it's a really good scene. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you feel me. But my question is, did they kill him?
I hope so. I thought
all these people were on a mission.
I thought they ate him.
Let him out of that box, and then they let all of his captors out, and they were about to wreck shot on that fool. But like you said, still, that doesn't mean that he's dead. That doesn't mean that he's subdued or that he's not going to make it, because he was also enhanced. That was the thing. He was fully enhanced. So there's a good chance that he may still be out there. and they may still have the Collector as an adversary.
Because he told them before she let them out. He's like, y'all know damn well this ain't about to hold me. I mean, he told her like this ain't gonna do nothing. You feel me? And then that's when she let everybody out.
Right.
You know, but
But you gotta think it's gotta be some amazing people in there. I mean, when you collect stuff, you're not collecting no bullshit. I know for myself. You don't collect bullshit, you collect valuable, expensive, amazing, powerful, wonderful things. So theoretically, could have killed him.
But so Clark mentions that she did the same thing in the Guardians, but she did it with the Power Stone instead. The only thing is when she did it with the Power Stone, one, she killed herself because she grabbed the Power Stone, pulled it out of the case, and ended up killing herself. She detonated the entire building. And if you remember, the building came down. All of the collectibles got out of their cages. That's how Howard the Duck got out. That's how I forgot what is it, Pluto, whatever his name is, the dog. He got out. He was running around. Him and Howard the Duck were running around, and but the Collector still survived that whole situation. So that whole explosion. So like you said, I don't know if he really could have been subdued by all of the people that was coming after him at that point. I mean, who's to say he didn't still have power similar to like Gila or Loki, where he could just teleport himself up out of here.
Right, that's true too.
You start getting surrounded, you use a little deception, boom, you out.
Yeah, that's true too.
So he said that's why I'm loving this show, because it really is showing us what if.
Yeah. right.
Sure.
That's true.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Smoke.
Oh no, go ahead. What you
I was just about to say, but to me, it also expands on the whole idea that one change in a decision, one going left instead of right, the ripple effect is huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it kind of make you think about like how we was talking about with Loki. Like, okay, so you kill this version of He Who Remains, but another version that may be worse is coming. I mean, it's just like, oh, we got rid of Donald Trump, but now we got this guy. What is he gonna do? It's kind of like you think you're getting rid of one evil, but you don't know if the grass is always greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Thanos is not the big bad, but Thanos had a mission. It was clear. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. The Collector, on the other hand, was a madman. Like, we put Thanos as a madman because what he was doing was mad to us. Right. But it's rational to him. Exactly. And if he can sit down and have a conversation with you about why, even now, after he has changed, which means it's not personal. The Collector could collect a person who wronged him. He could collect a person who owes him a debt. He could collect a person that he thinks is pretty and he wants to have sex with them when he wants to. His method has no logic to it. He wants what he wants, and that's it. So in the grand scheme of things, do you want this to be your big bad, or do you want Thanos to be a big bad?
True that. Yeah, I mean, it's like you gotta pick the better of two evils, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, and that was the one thing, did T'Challa change Thanos? I would say he didn't change him. He just affected him in a way that he got to change himself. That he decided to make a different decision. He decided to say, you know what, let me think about it this way, or from this viewpoint. But you still heard him. He still had that little bit of, but it's sufficient. But it really could have worked. It really could have been a thing, right? That was his thing. But like we said, he didn't have that time nor that energy to go and complete it. So it got stopped. It got
right.
Because he was able to see a different way of doing things from T'Challa's point of view versus what he was his original plan.
Right.
Yeah. Going back to the conversation of the forgiveness, and looking at the argument you guys made about what he was going through, how he felt, and going back to Smooth's comment earlier, I think you said that you didn't understand how he was able to forgive him that quick. I still don't think he really, so to speak, forgave him that quick. I think he conceded. I think he's just said, you know what, I appreciate what I got, because like you guys said, I think he acted out in anger. Like like y'all got me to realize, like he expressed himself because he was like, this is messed up. I literally thought my family was dead. My village was destroyed. My people were gone. And you lied to me this whole time. So I'm going to lash out immediately. But then I think he quickly thought about it from the standpoint of, look at the opportunities that I have now. I have this family. I have this situation where I can be out here in the stars, but also have my village that I can go back to and have this base and this basis and get back to the love that I remember as a kid. And I think he decided to just take both and embrace both at that moment. Is that forgiveness? Kinda, but I also think that it's just like that realization, like, what I wanted him to do up front. Like that's what I want him to do immediately. Was it unrealistic for me to think that? Yeah, based on what you guys just said, I'm convinced that was unrealistic to think. And I think it would have maybe not been a good story if they would have had him immediately forgive him. Like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I understand. So yeah, I think it made for better dialogue, for better development, story development, character development, as well as just overall was the way they should have done it. Was he lash out, he resents it, and then he goes back and says, you know what, maybe he didn't need to forgive him in this episode. Maybe he could have waited to the next episode. But I think that it would have had to come to a point where he had to realize that, you know what, I did affect enough people in enough situations in this galaxy or this universe that it was a good thing I was out here. It was a good thing.
And I also think, just more than that, he enjoyed himself.
Yes.
He enjoyed doing what he was doing out there.
Sonny, what up, though?
What's going on, Sonny? I think what really, not just that he lied to him, because we forgetting the other aspect of this is that, that caused his family and his kingdom a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And a lot of suffering. They were searching for that man for how many years? You understand? So, he probably was looking at it that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the part that got me is, when T'Chaka asked, because he asked, what I mean? Well, then how did he end up with y'all? You feel me? And before, I think Yondu was about to tell him the truth, T'Challa cut him off
and covered him.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And covered him. And to me, I was like, boy, listen, that's character right there.
Yes. Right.
That's character. And
right.
Great there, because I don't know, you feel me, if I could have, you feel me, even as a writer, I don't even know if I could have wrote it like that. But that's,
yeah.
But I like how they, T'Challa got a certain character.
Right.
And
And it's funny, I was going to say the same thing. I was going to bring up the different instances of his character, of his personality, of his integrity. So his father is killed. He sees these people having infighting. He's hurting. His father's dead. You know what I'm saying? The we're going to find the person who killed my father and put him a trial. That's formality. That's what it's going to be. Revenge. I want to fight because my father was killed, but rationally, right? Mm-hmm. Then Killmonger comes to his home, fights him to the death, kills him, takes his kingdom. But at the end, after he fights him and kills him, he forgives him and takes him to a final resting place of beauty and allows for him to see that and be there with him in that moment. This man ain't no ordinary man. His mind don't work like ordinary people. He thinks in a calm, rational way. His level of forgiveness, his level of forethought, the way he thinks about people and things and the situations that he's find himself in is unlike any superhero I've ever seen. I mean, he thinks about all of these things on a whole nother level. And so I expected nothing less of him to do what he did, because the T'Challa I've seen has done that every time I've seen him. He is always forgiving. I mean, throughout all turmoil, throughout all pain, throughout all suffering, he has always been the bigger person and forgiven whomever has wronged him,
Right.
including Bucky.
Yeah. I mean, in this timeline, Bucky's not an enemy anymore. So
Right. I'm just speaking in general. That didn't change about him from our timeline to this
in the
timeline.
original timeline, right? He even forgave Bucky, even helped Bucky to heal, right? So and Zemo, right? He even helped Zemo.
Right. So to me, forgiveness was a no-brainer for me to think that he would have let that go and did what you said, Willie, and take the two sides of the coin, put them together and say, well, you know, I got to go see my family. I got to go do that now. And now that I know that they're here, I'm happy to know that they're here because my family is a big part of who I am. Even in the 10 or 11 years or however old he was when they took him, they had made such an impression on him as a child that he was able to go change the world.
Indeed.
My favorite scene at the end though was the bald headed one.
Oh, Okoye.
Okoye, when she was talking to
Thanos about genocide.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like, sounds a lot like genocide to me.
Right, exactly.
I was like, he is not going to stop trying to get his point.
No.
Right, he's letting everybody know, like, look.
Because he's looking for somebody to say.
I'm trying to tell you. Look, let me explain to you how this will work.
He's looking for somebody to say, I think that is a good idea, so he can go do his thing.
Exactly.
But check the picture out though. This is how like they're so ill. You see, he got the dog. You see how they trying to make him. You feel me? Like the visual is ill. Like this maniacal person trying to kill half the universe. You feel me? Now he's sitting there talking to Okoye with a dog. You feel me? Man,
smiling.
You feel
right.
me? Like it's like I thought that was dope. I thought
that is indeed.
Touching episode. Touching, indeed. Just beautiful. Just beautiful.
So
just
beautiful. I watch. I gather you already watched. Never mind.
What you about to say?
Nah, I'll wait till next week. Chime.
Oh, okay, yeah. I haven't touched episode 3.
No, me neither.
I haven't watched it yet. I was gonna wait till after I got this one over, got the show done, then I can enjoy it. Because that's the only thing. It's like doing this show, I always end up like in this mode of like I gotta watch it, I gotta rewatch it, I gotta do the recap, do the other recap shows, and then do my notes, and then you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but if the next episode is good and you watch it the same day, it's kind of like you want to talk about it. So I stopped doing that.
All right, so I gotta stop doing that. Then I gotta stop doing that.
I usually wait till Sunday or Monday, try to watch it then I can go through. You know, I now hear enough about it from other people going, "Oh, this was so good, you gotta watch it." You know, me and Clark actually just talked before the show in the pre-show, and he sat down and was like, "Man, you gotta watch." I was like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna watch it. Don't worry, I'm gonna watch it."
Let me ask, because Willie, you ain't in this conversation real quick. I'm about to get up out of here, but I want to ask Chevy. You seen? I ain't even gonna ask you to spoil nothing, but he said you seen the Suicide Squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many stars you get?
I'd say 4.
You say 4. I give it a 2.
Really?
Yes, I was highly disappointed.
Really?
I was high.
What do you give the original?
I've been hearing countered.
I give the original. I give the original 3.75.
How?
I think the original was better.
How?
I just think the acting was better.
What?
Yes. Harley Quinn. She did her thing. I didn't like the interaction. I don't want to get too much of it away. But the dynamic between Idris and John Cena, like I thought that was too spoofy for me. If you I mean, it was like they were making a spoof of a movie instead of making the movie.
That's a James Gunn movie though.
You feel? So I ain't really dig that. I wanted to be a little bit more serious. Like
I think it got there. I think it got there.
It did, but it took too long for me. It took way. See, nah.
No, I think sometimes we have to realize the directors we are watching. It's like going to see a Tim Burton movie and not realizing Tim Burton made it, or going to see a Quentin Tarantino movie and not realizing Quentin Tarantino made it, because they have a formula. They have a way that they do the things that they do. And I think that for me, when I realized, like, because Quentin Tarantino has the most infamous formula for film. Half the first 20 minutes is talking. If you can't understand that that's how Quentin Tarantino works, you're not going to like any of his films, because the first 20 minutes is pure talking, whether it's in English or subtitles or whatever. It's pure talking. So you will hate every movie he make because it's pure talking for the first 20 minutes. No doubt, no lie. Watch every movie he ever made, and that's how they work. So for me, I didn't watch that movie as a Suicide Squad movie. I watched that movie as Guardians of the Galaxy Suicide Squad.
Okay. So that's what we. You know what I mean? Because I'm expecting, like, you know, first of all, they took Will character out. Well, they ain't really take it out. Scheduling conflicts, he couldn't. You know what I mean? He couldn't shoot the movie, but they did say that he might come back and further down in the series. My main issue was them two, John Cena and then it's like certain scenes was just unnecessary. Certain scenes were just unnecessary to the whole plot, and that's why I thought it was a spoof. Like, I see now I can't say it because Willie, man.
See, my thing is, so I feel like they did a better job in this film with, like, getting you to understand the characters and what they're about than they did in the first one. I feel like the writing was better in this one than the first one. I feel like the acting was better in this one than the first one. I feel like the editing was better in this one versus the first one. I hated the first one. I despised it. Oh my God. From like the editing mistakes to the script to the mismatching of the acting. The only two people in that movie that was Viola Davis couldn't even say that movie. If it wasn't for Will Smith and Harley Quinn, that movie would have been a total. I feel like these two movies wash each other out. That's what I feel like. I feel like they wash each other.
I feel like Viola Davis was a caricature. Am I saying it? Caricature of herself, of her character in this movie. You feel me?
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I think she actually played this role better than she did in the first one because the script was better.
I felt like it was more, to me, it just seemed more comical, more spoof-like.
But it's a James Gunn movie.
I get it. They try to go a different direction.
It's like watching a Taika Waititi
you're basically
movie.
Watching a Marvel version.
It's like watching a Taika Waititi movie. I don't care if Hitler's in it or Thor's in it. It's gonna be funny. You know what I'm saying? There are gonna be moments that it's like, oh my God, but it's for most part you're gonna laugh at things you shouldn't laugh at. It's like certain direct, and that's why I guess I like the movie because I guess
let's ask this question then. So Smooth. So being that this is a DC movie, do you think that DC expectation crept in your mind as you watched it? Is that what happened?
Yeah, especially after seeing the remake of the Superman. What's the name? Superman, Batman.
The Justice League.
Justice League
joint. Yeah, Snyder's cut. Yeah. So I was expecting. I don't know, man. I just expected it to be a little bit more
darker,
serious.
Yeah. You feel me? Like I wanted Harley. I just needed her to bring that comical, goofy, silly side. You know what I mean? She did her thing in this film. To me, she one of the real characters I like. Polka Dot Dude. You feel me?
I loved it. I loved it.
What I'm guessing is because I do love the Marvel formula. I think I'm gonna be torn watching this because because in the first movie I felt like I loved the first movie too.
I love the first.
Because what I wanted Justice League to be is what we got out of Suicide Squad Part 1. Little less than what I expected for Justice League, but still I think it was what I wanted out of Justice League, and I felt like even with the, like you said, Chevy, with the editing mistakes, with the story, the storyline,
the acting
mismatches, because the storyline was weird in the first.
Oh my god!
So, like I didn't understand how we got where we got all of a sudden.
And here come the Joker out of nowhere, just
they were plucking stuff in and out. But I also loved the action. I loved the way the characters interacted with each other, and I also liked how I don't know what you call it, but basically like how they would come from a standpoint of this is where we are, this is what we're doing, and it ends. It was never like you got left in a cliffhanger of something, and then you felt like, where am I at now? Like I don't know where I'm at, and I don't know where I'm going because this isn't going anywhere. I felt like we were going somewhere. We were inching towards the end. Where with Justice League, I never felt like I was going anywhere. Like I still don't know. I'm still lost. I've been watching Justice League for 16 weeks. I still don't know where I'm at. I don't know. I'm 14 hours in, 33 hours of sleep, and I still don't know where I'm at in this movie. Like this movie is the worst movie ever. But when it came to Suicide Squad, I felt like it was coming to a completion, or it felt like it had it even though the storyline was a little weird and messed up at the beginning, and then probably at the end too a little bit, but it was like it flowed, right? And so I'm thinking like if I walk into this James Gunn version of the Suicide Squad, I think I'm gonna probably be like smooth, maybe not as bad because I do love the Marvel formula, so I'll probably enjoy it still. But I think I'm gonna be a little torn as to which one I would think is better because. And so what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna probably watch both. So that way I can kind of get back into the mindset, see where it came from, and then see where they take it.
The one thing I can agree with Chevy is it's two completely different movies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's two completely, like, you're gonna get two different vibes from each movie, you know, granted because it's two different directors, but and I think that's what I didn't like too. You feel me? You know, I'm not he did something else. I forget what other movie he did.
Who?
The director, the new director. Another
James
movie.
Gunn?
Yeah, he did another movie I hated.
Give me one moment.
Yeah.
I'm about to look it up.
But
see. James Gunn. Was it like a superhero movie?
Yeah, it was an action movie.
Let's see. He did. Wait a minute. He only directed movie 43, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and Suicide Squad. Those are the only films that he's ever directed.
Yeah, it might have been Guardians of the Galaxy too. I wasn't a fan of that one.
You didn't like Guardians 2?
Oh, it's so good.
Nah, I wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't better than part 1, but it was definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't. Good. To me, it was
I didn't like Jeff Bridges. Wasn't that Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
I didn't really care for I didn't really care for the villain and the purpose of the villain and all of that. I didn't really care for that. I didn't care for any of that. Like, that's the part I didn't like. That's why I didn't like that movie. But I also wasn't really like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, like. But I like Thor Ragnarok. I liked it that. So.
But it is definitely a lesser of. Like, if you watch Thor 2 and then you watch Thor 3, it's like, what the hell?
Right,
Thor 2 is super freaking serious. Like, it's super freaking serious. And what
that's what I hated about Thor and Thor 2. You know, I felt like they were both trying too hard to be so serious that they were trying too hard. You know, it was just like, bro, like this is.
See, my thing is, I don't mind the
Thor. Trying to be theatrical and shit.
I like Thor.
We're watching a superhero movie. Like, what's going on?
Like with this movie, like. I don't mind the comedy aspect of it, but to me, it just got too spoofy. Mm-hmm. It's like the difference between watching Menace to Society than watching Don't Be a Menace. That's how I felt. That's how I felt watching.
Oh, wow.
You feel me? Like
you felt like they literally were just cracking jokes on the old movie.
Oh yeah, they were. But they were.
You know what I mean? Like,
but I was ready for that because it's James Gunn. I mean, you know what I'm saying? For God's sakes, Taika Waititi was in the movie. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hello, this is a joke. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is a joke. Like, this movie is a joke, but I expect that because that's his style. That's what he likes to have fun. He likes to do ridiculous things. He likes to go there. He likes to go there, but he got to, for him, it was, I'm able to go there in a bloody massacre way. You know what I'm saying? Versus with Disney, where I have to keep it PG and I got to make it cute. He was able to go there because they let him go as far as he could go, but also bring that comical aspect and that, ad-libbing, because Marvel movies are really good for ad-libbing and let the actors just go and be free and do their thing. And I think they did a lot of that impromptu acting, ad-libbing and stuff like that on this movie. And I mean, it can get a little Tyler Perry-ish watching Madea sometimes, like, because you know how you can watch Madea go off script for so long, and then after a while you're like, okay, Madea, pick up the script and read the damn script and just say what's on the paper. Right. Yes, but I liked it more than the first one because the first one was just torturous to me. I mean, it was as bad as X-Men 3 for me. That's how bad Suicide Squad was for me.
Damn. X3. She was like, you know what? I'm putting it right down there with X3. It's garbage. It's the garbage. It's the garbage for me.
It's not the fault of the movie. It's the fault of the film industry. They had to reshoot that movie and redo the script and re-edit it so many times. They lost the director. They lost them in the middle of the shoot. They had to get another director. So the movie is bad, not because the movie was purposely made bad. It was bad because of the circumstances that surrounded the film. That's why the editing is so bad. That's why the writing is so bad, because they kept losing script writers. They kept losing editors. They kept having to go in and do reshoots. They kept having to go in and redo the script. It was so many things that happened when Suicide Squad was coming out that messed that movie up.
Right.
And you could see it. Okay, yeah, I could see that y'all lost y'all direction.
This felt like a WWE production.
Oh wow.
Like you notice how they always had wrestlers in their movies, and then you see how their movies is made.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? To me, that's that feel.
I actually think John Cena did a really good job. He did a really good job, and he about to get a show, so you're gonna be real mad.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be watching that too much. I'm gonna keep it real. Like the jungle scene.
Oh, with the dicks. Oops, I'm sorry. No spoilers.
like it got a little weird, man. Like it was just getting weird for me.
Too much.
Like, what am I watching? You feel me? Like you watching it, and at some point you're gonna be like, all right, what am I watching?
Yeah, you are gonna at some point you're gonna be like, what are you watching? I definitely had those moments in that movie.
Gotcha.
But that's what made it great for me. Like, because you got to see James Gunn do these explicit things that he couldn't do in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you just gotta know. Sometimes it's best to know who you watching first before you jump into something. If you know who you watch, and I mean, because that's what I had to start doing when I really got into film, and I really started watching movies that I kind of didn't want to watch, but they were notable or whatever. And that's why Quentin Tarantino is my example, because he is the prime example of a style that you have to understand or you will not appreciate his work.
Exactly. Yeah, because I definitely will give Quentin Tarantino the benefit of the doubt before I feel like something isn't going the way I think it should go. I'll definitely be like, oh, okay, you know what? Because after was it Dusk Till Dawn? I went actually both Dusk Till Dawn and Pulp Fiction. I watched both of those without a preview, without any knowledge of what I was watching. So you can imagine how shocked and surprised I was when Dusk Till Dawn broke out into being a vampire movie. I was not expecting that.
Me neither.
30 or 45 minutes into the movie.
Right.
So I definitely
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Man, it was hands down. That's when I fell in love with Quentin Tarantino's movies. And I mean, I already loved Pulp Fiction because that was like, oh my God, like mind blowing. But then watching Dusk Till Dawn, and I knew it was a Quentin Tarantino movie, but I did not understand what I was walking into. All I knew is he had made this movie, and I was supposed to go watch it. And that's what I did. And I'm literally sitting there like, okay, not understanding like I mean, I was understanding because it was it was moving along, and then all of a sudden it was just like they're in Mexico, they're doing this thing, and I'm like, okay, this is moving slow, but it's moving along. And
Yeah,
boom,
it's
it's a
the
freaking
scene.
vampire movie. Like
Because the
what?
scene that's the long scene is the scene where they go to the convenience store and they are Quentin Tarantino's character hears voice. He's schizophrenic, so he's
Right.
hearing voices, and this is when the shootout ensues. But it took them forever to get to the point of the actual shootout itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the scene. Pulp Fiction is the car scene where they're talking in the car for this long period of time. And you're like, okay, so we talk about burgers. We talk about burgers.
Right.
How long we gonna talk about hamburgers? Okay. But it got worse progressively as he continued to make films. Like the opening scene for Inglourious Basterds is probably the worst. And I say that, no. Death Proof is actually the worst. Because they're in the car and they're Death Proof. The one, how they did them double feature movies. One that Rob. Oh my God, Death Proof.
I didn't see.
Because they did them double features. It was Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, and he did the movie where old girl had the shotgun for a leg, and then he did the one where Jeff Bridges was the man in the car trying to kill the girls, but the damn girls was in that damn car for 40 damn minutes talking. Oh my God! You talk about
I watched the one with the leg girl with the leg with the shotgun leg. But I think I fell asleep or just kind of ignored the Death Proof movie. Yeah, because I also thought that the premise was dumb. So
that's why it was one of his worst grossing movies ever.
Yeah.
I think that was the least.
Too much talking. It was too much talking.
Yeah.
I liked it. Last good movie I like he did the Hateful Eight.
I've never seen that.
It was amazing.
That is the only Quentin Tarantino movie that I have not seen.
Hateful Eight, good. Yeah, that's good as hell. Yeah,
awesome. I had forgotten in the middle of the movie that he made it because it was just so good. Like I just was, and it wasn't completely different, but it was different. It was different in what he normally does. There was some differences, and it made
the dialogue was actually like the dialogue was wonderful.
Hands down, that movie, it's gonna blow you away. It's gonna blow you away. Like, wow, like this is that made me feel like Quentin Tarantino was beyond that. Like, like I don't know who wrote it, if it was just him or if it was him or somebody else, but I just know that movie was just hands down great.
Now I hated Django. I know I
still never seen Django.
You never said I hated Django.
I love Django. The acting, it's the acting for me.
I watched it one time and said, nah.
I watched the first 5 or 6 minutes, and
I've seen that movie 7 times. 5 times in the movie theater.
But see that's how I
am. In
the
movie theater too. Wow. Yes. Okay.
That's how I am.
You know what though? I seen Endgame 5 times in the movie theater or 6 times, and I did not like it that much though.
I enjoy. I had to keep going back to see the acting. I had to go see the acting over and over again.
With movies like that, I usually I'm the type, if I watch a movie once, always gotta watch it twice at least, because you always miss something.
Right.
Indeed.
You always miss something. But that was one of the movies that I watched, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna watch this again. You feel me? Like that was just one of the few movies. Like, nah, it didn't do nothing for me. You say you like the acting, I feel like it was subpar.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like it was subpar. I feel like I seen Leonardo do better. Seen Jamie do hell of a lot better.
No, I wasn't doing it. My camera went out of focus. That's crazy that you say that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But when I just wasn't. It was one of the movies. I had to struggle to sit through the whole thing.
Wow.
Like I had to force myself to watch the whole thing, all the way through.
Wow. Damn.
And I think Jamie one of the most talented ever.
He's definitely an amazing actor. Speaking of Jamie Foxx, he's not in this poster, but we finally got the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. Before you leave, Smooth, did you see the trailer?
I have to say I only seen like the first 20 seconds. It was like 2 minutes and some change, right?
Yeah, it was like way too long.
All right.
It was 3 minutes.
It reminded me that I should never watch Sony trailers like ever again the rest of my life.
All right, well, check. Y'all can talk. Watch. I'm about to go look at it right now.
Okay. The biggest thing for me was the fact that we got Doc Ock, we got Jamie Foxx coming back, we got all these things going on. But the fact that they showed so much kind of pissed me off.
Well, a lot of that I didn't see. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, "What's that green thing?" And because I don't be thinking about all of that. I was more infatuated with the fact that Doctor Strange had turned his cape into a coat cape thing.
Yeah. You're still stuck on that, like.
Yeah, like, man, that was so crazy. That was amazing. Did you guys see that? And then I'm like, oh, wait. I was not looking at the right stuff, folks.
Yeah, I think you were stuck on the wrong thing. But I mean, even though that, some of those little Easter eggs are there, they're actually in this picture here too. But I think it was definitely I think it's definitely going to be a great movie. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how What If affects Shang-Chi and how Shang-Chi affects Spider-Man, and then where we are in that, because from the previews, it doesn't look like we're seeing the effects of the multiverse, but then we kind of do see the effects of it when it comes to the fact that they're going to allow the multiverse to expand even further, from what was happening in that preview. I'm just mad that we got to see that already. Like it was a very disappointing situation for me watching.
Well, Tom Holland said it's way more than that.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, it's 3 minutes of a 140-minute movie, right? So, or whatever number of minutes it's going to be. But yeah, I get that it's going to be more. I just feel like there's still so much that they showed that I just don't. Me myself personally, I don't feel like 3-minute trailers are necessary.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, sir. I didn't see half the shit y'all saw, so I'm okay with it because I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. 3, 5, 17 trains moving at the same time, the earth falling into each other. Some of those things I feel are expected. I mean, some of those things to me were expected, like seeing Peter getting pushed out of his self, seeing the world fall, seeing.
Okay, well, so no, I mean, no. To your point, the train part, that train scene, him getting punched out of his body, as well as even seeing the balls, because only the people who know, only if you know, right?
Right.
Only if you know, and I think you still don't even know what you're looking at because you're not understanding the ramifications of this. But the thing is that it's a if you know situation, and a lot of times, like, we don't, like, I don't know what the train situation is about. I don't understand I don't know why Doctor Strange is punching him out of his body, right? We don't get that. But I think that's all you need to do. You don't need to literally have them showing full scenes of him talking about, we're going to do this magic spell, and we're going to do this, and we're going to blah, 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 and showing him doing the spell, and what's the name, messing up the spell. And it was like, bro, I don't need all of that. I don't need all that dialogue. I don't need all that spoiler. I mean, it's a lot of spoilers to me, in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
even them showing the part where he's not enjoying the spotlight, right? Of course, we know he's not going to enjoy the spotlight. But he's not
enjoying the spotlight because he's not getting the spotlight.
That's what I mean. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I felt like it was just too much. It was way too much being shown. What did you think, Smooth?
I hate trailers like that too. I hate trailers like that too because it basically, you know what I mean? You're basically telling me the whole movie. Mm-hmm. So now when I'm watching it, you're gonna have a couple surprises here and there, but for the most part, I'm gonna be able to figure out what's going on. Who, you know what I mean? Like he said, they gave away too much information. Yeah. I understand they got it's a big production, highly anticipated movie, so they really trying to build it up. But sometimes you can give too much. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I feel like from what I just seen, like everything Willie just said, Like they like that trailer just gave me a lot. That trailer just gave me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, way more than I needed. Way more. I think I would have been very happy. Like when I saw the Shang-Chi trailer, the 30-second or 35-second trailer, and I think they even had a 1-minute trailer, but it was just because most of it was slowed down. That was perfect. I thought that was perfect. I saw enough to make me feel like I want to know what that is. And I want to know what that is. Like you said with the train situation. I want to know what the train is about. If I didn't know what the green balls were, I'd be like, I want to know what these green balls are about. I want to know, what's happening here with the spell that he's casting. If they wouldn't have told me what that spell was, I think I would have felt better. Like I'd have been like, okay, I want to know what that is now. That would have attracted me. I don't need you to tell me what it is. I don't need you to give me the whole dialogue around it as well. You know what I mean? All this supporting stuff. I'm like, damn, like how much, what more do I need? I don't need no more. Like, do I even need to watch the movie? That's why I haven't gone to see Fast 5 or Fast 9.
Well, don't compare that. You can't even compare these
trailer,
two movies.
That Fast 9 18-minute trailer is like ridiculous. Like, bro,
but you can't compare though that to this. Marvel is calculated and planned and precise in everything that they do. Even if they showing us what they showing us, it's way more that they not showing us.
True.
I don't know where Fast 9 went, bro. That's not even. It has no semblance to the original plot of the movies. Like I don't understand what the hell they doing. You feel me? These dudes are outer space. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, I can't compare those two. But what I will say is,
no, I'm not comparing them as like.
No.
The trailer.
I can't even do that. I can't even compare the trailers. I can't even do that.
The trailer just had ridiculously too much information.
It did, but it didn't. Like, so it did because if you know situation. You know what I'm saying?
I knew all of that. I'm like,
I like the exposition.
Throw a bunch of cards at something again, and then
they're gonna
do something magical, like go to outer space in a car.
But this is why I like the exposition, because we trying to figure out who caused it. We trying to figure out who did it. And I like the exposition because it makes you ask more questions. Was all of this happening simultaneously? Why did Doctor Strange do this? Doctor Strange is a very serious dude. He don't do stuff like this. What's wrong with him? Is he going through a midlife crisis? Do he feel bad for Peter? Like, I like the exposition because for me, it made me ask more questions about, is it Sylvie's fault? Is it Black Widow? Is it Scarlet Witch's fault? Whose fault is it? Is this stuff happening at the same time that Sylvie killed He Who Remains? Oh my goodness! Like, oh my goodness!
Okay, I'll give you that. I didn't think about it from that standpoint. But I felt like they were telling me too much still. But in a way too, yeah, there were still some questions. Like I said, I did have questions. I did have questions about certain things. I did, like I was wondering, like, what was going on with the court situation, like what that was about. It seemed like they were trying to give us a little bit, but they weren't at the same time, which I liked that part. That part I liked. I was like, you know what? It was just enough, but not too much. Like, it was like, oh, now I'm wondering why is everybody in court? I can make some educated guesses. I can throw some things out there, but then I also have to say, you know what? There could be something else going on, or it could be introducing something else. I'm looking forward to seeing, certain things because of what they've shown me, but there are some things that I don't know what I'm going to expect.
What do y'all think about Zendaya being in the movie?
What's it again?
What do you think about Zendaya?
Being in there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to her being in there already. And she's been in a lot of different weird stuff, and she's done a lot of adult stuff. Her playing a teenager, I think, is kind of weird now, especially at this point in the game. But for the character and what it is, I'm rolling with it just because it is what it is at this point.
Well, I love Zendaya, so I'm glad she's there. I mean, she's a Black woman in a film playing a character. I enjoy it. I think she does a good job with it. I think it's different.
Are you referring to that Parks move in terms of her being a Black woman versus
Nah. I don't even. I love my sisters, but I wasn't even looking at it from that angle.
Oh, okay.
To be honest with you, I'm just not a fan of her acting.
Oh, got you.
Feel me?
She. I watched her in Disney stuff in the past, right? So I feel like she's better. now than she was then because she can be more serious or be more dramatic, but without it being overly dramatic, like in Disney stuff, right? So watching that evolution, you know, I know where she came from. You know what I mean? Where she was just a trash actress because she grew up in a trash, you know, TV shows, right? But then watching her now, especially if you see stuff like Euphoria, if you see the AO, if you see, you know, so this movie franchise is not really a good representation of her acting. I really want to see the new movie with her and old boy he was also in Doctor Strange. Not Doctor Strange. He was also in.
You talking about Denzel
Washington? He was,
yeah,
Denzel Washington's son. Was it David Washington? Something Washington. Yeah, her and him are in that movie.
Very good
couple.
movie. Yeah.
Very, what is it called?
I don't know what the name of the movie.
It was a Netflix movie. It was a Netflix movie, right?
I've seen it. I watched both their character names. Yeah. The movie is a little draggy, but the acting was good.
That's why I heard the acting was good. But like I said, she was really everybody loved her in Euphoria.
She did a really
good job. Did y'all see his new movie?
John
David Watts. Did y'all see his new movie?
No.
Oh man, let me look up. It's like he's overseas. Getting a car crash. His girl died.
Yes, I haven't seen it, but I want to see that. That looks really
Beckett. Good. It's called Beckett.
Beckett.
Yeah, it's called Beckett. It's called Beckett. It's good as hell. It's good as hell. And we talk about Malcolm and Marie.
That's the name of it.
Yeah. So I watched them in Tenet. I seen them in Black Klansman.
Tenet was still like.
I mean, I liked him in Tenet. I didn't like Tenet.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Tenet, but I love movies like that. I love Tenet.
They were doing too much. I felt like they was doing too much in Tenet.
Well, I'm really into time travel movies. So time travel TV shows, movies. So I understood it, and it just made sense to me. But I understood how people could be like, be totally confused. I mean, there were some confusing parts for me too because it wasn't perfectly cohesive, but it was, you know, it was like I've seen the trope before.
So I will say one thing just to bring it back to the Spider-Man situation. The only thing that I would have said they could have left out of that trailer is Doc Ock, like actually showing.
Yes.
That was the only thing that I think they should have left out. Actually showing him, they could have left that out because you're telling us.
I think showing the
bomb,
the tentacle. I felt like that was enough.
Yeah, they would have showed that. That would have been fine. But actually showing him being from, we know where he's from. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of just said, okay, well, everybody's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would have been dope because I think if I'm not, I just watched. I think they showed the little green bomb that he always throw first before they show him. Yeah. I think if they would have just showed that and then boom.
Yeah.
You know, when I saw that, I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting more. But then
and then they show Doc Ock.
Like,
that's what disappointed me. Everything else before that.
Nothing, because you could have left me with the bomb. And I'd have been like, if you know, you know, and that's all you gotta know.
Yeah, because I didn't know. And I was just like, what's that? But then they showed Doc Ock, and I said, okay. So this is how they're gonna bring everything and everybody, and this is why Tobey Maguire came out of retirement.
Of course, we don't understand how he got there, right? We don't understand the full ramifications of what they did. Doctor Strange kind of mentioned it in a pass by of one of the little mini scenes, but it's still not clear. So we're gonna have to still evolve into that, understand that. I get that, but I just felt like we didn't need it. We didn't need him. We didn't need to see him. We didn't need to see him because now it's like, okay, this is why. Like Clark said, we could have done 1 minute 20 seconds would have been more than enough.
I didn't even realize it was 3 minutes though until everybody started complaining about it. I was just like,
I hate 3 minutes. I don't know why I even fell for that because I usually check. I usually look first.
I mean, you was ready.
I don't watch it. I just be like, oop, oop,
you was too ready. That's why.
Well, you know what it was? You know what it was? It's because the beginning said teaser.
Oh, it did say teaser.
And then I was like, you freaking lied to me. Like, how did you call this a teaser? This is not a teaser.
But the only reason why they did it
45
It's because they said that the trailer got leaked, so they just had to put it out before something else got out.
I guess
because somebody
everything else been out, but I just haven't been looking at it. You know, they've been talking about this movie for months,
but this is the first time we got to see, though.
Well, yeah, true that. But
yeah, I didn't. First visual I've ever seen.
Yeah, so this is everything has been hearsay up to this point. But also, speaking about this, I just want to bring up the fact that now Venom has been pushed back to January of 2022 as well.
Why did they push that back though?
Because it's probably terrible. And they gotta go reshoot and re-edit. I don't know. I'm just talking crap. Maybe it mess up the timeline. Maybe
what was your grade
doesn't go.
The first one.
The first Venom.
It was all right.
I thought Venom was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was good though.
It's all right to me.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I would give it a 3.
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
I would say it's a soft 3. It's a soft 3.
Yeah.
It's
soft
definitely
3.
not something I have to watch again. If it wasn't for I
think it was something I had to watch.
Bane, I probably didn't watch it.
I didn't need to watch, but I did have to watch it. I mean,
definitely had to watch it, but would I watch it again per se? Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah,
probably not.
I pretty much got it. I understand it. You know, I understand what happened, but I am looking forward to part 2. I'm looking forward to Mobius. That's what I want to see her.
Well, that takes the place of Mobius, so Mobius has been pushed back even further because Mobius was supposed to come out in January.
What?
I'm so sorry, guys.
What are they doing with the Captain Marvel?
Oh, it's now called The Marvels,
and they still shooting.
Yeah, it's gonna be 22 or 20. Yeah, late 22 is coming out. But what the precursor to it is a TV show called Miss Marvel, which is going to be America Chavez is going to make her introduction, and then she's going to appear in the Marvels. So it's going to be Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau are going to team up in the Marvels.
I hope it please be better than the first one.
Oh, it better be better than that first one.
You know, I'm so sorry, y'all, but I rewatch that movie all the time.
That movie.
And I don't know why, but I do rewatch that movie all the time.
Because you're trying to figure out what was the point. I understand.
Damn.
I fully understand.
I fully understand.
I fully understand
why you do it.
Oh, man. It's like background noise to me. I've seen that movie more probably than any Marvel movie, to be honest.
Man, I went to the movies and seen that. Man, I was so upset. Like I was so first because I was so hyped.
It should have been way more epic.
I was so hyped to go see it. You know what I mean? I'm talking about I went with the fellas to go see Captain Marvel. You understand?
Exactly.
I was psyched. We was all in there. Got the food. We like up close, and we just sitting there like, nah, it just can't be.
Right.
Like, this can't be life right now.
Right. Looking at each other like, is this a Marvel movie? Is this the right movie?
Like, I was so disappointed. So hopefully this next one be much better. I hope
now you saw Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that already? I can't remember.
Yeah, we talked.
No, me and Chevy talked about it.
Yeah,
I was in the comments.
Oh, you was in the comments when we did that review.
Yeah,
Okay. I couldn't remember if you were involved in that, but yeah. So I was very, very, very pleased with Black Widow because I was the thing about Captain Marvel is I felt like this was not to say that all female superhero movies hinged on Captain Marvel. I just felt like for Marvel as a studio, I felt like that was the thing. That should have been their best effort put forth for women, right? And it just wasn't. It just was like, bro, like what are y'all thinking? Like
my problem is that's what they tried to do,
and
they failed. You feel me? I feel like this is a personal opinion. I feel like you cheat women when you try to make a woman movie for. Know what I mean? Like just make a good ass movie. You feel me? She's more than capable of putting on a great performance. You feel me?
Right.
Make the movie better. Make the script better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I think it is. That's why I rewatch it because I have a soft spot for Brie Larson. I like Brie Larson. She's an Oscar winner. I mean, she's a great actress.
She's exactly. And I'm like, they did her a disservice with that script. You feel me? It's sort of like
Samuel L. Jackson. Like that's one of the first Marvel movies where he is a leading character and not a
Exactly,
side
yeah,
character as
exactly.
well. So I think that's another reason why I constantly rewatch that movie, because that's the only movie that we get to see the Samuel L. Jackson.
Right. We basically get his origin story, right?
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like what's the superhero? The woman.
Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, you Wonder Woman.
It's sort of like the difference between like Wonder Woman 1 to me. Listen, as far as superhero movies, got a case to be up there amongst
the top ones. Exactly.
Yeah, amongst the giants.
Awesome.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman 2 is down there with X-Men 3.
Exactly. yeah. I think it's very right on top of X-Men 3. Like
because they tried to make a concerted effort to target women.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And I'm like, y'all doing women a disservice. Like, you don't have to do that.
Right.
You feel me? She
like you're basically placating women.
Yeah, and it's like she showed you she can carry a movie as the lead, as a superhero, by just being a superhero. Right. You don't need to do all that extra stuff. Once you do all that, it's like it seemed gimmicky now.
Yeah.
It seemed gimmicky, and when
that was real gimmicky. Yeah, that was real gimmicky.
It turned me off from the first scene, from the first couple scenes.
Yeah, when she was in the mall.
When the boys did something, she chastised them. And then when the girls did something that almost cost somebody their life, it was like, oh well.
You're right.
I'm like, did anybody just catch that? I'm like, then it was like that through the whole movie, and I'm like, nah, you feel me? But that's how I hope Captain Marvel. What you said is going to be called the Marvels.
The Marvels.
So it's going to be multiple of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But see, that's the thing. That's disappointing to me, because I feel like they felt as if Brie Larson couldn't carry that movie by herself, and that's why they didn't give her a part 2 by herself instead of just making a better film.
Exactly.
But that's the whole reason why that movie to me is annoying, is because, and I mean, I've seen it enough. So, the whole movie hinges on her being controlled by a man and then having to figure out who the hell she is because she was taken and then controlled by a man in a community of people who knew she was a weapon, and only that. So in her personality, that's all you see. She don't have a personality because she doesn't have friends. She doesn't have family. She doesn't know who she is. She is trained as a weapon. She's not a person. So that's why she doesn't act like a person. That's why she has no personality until she then goes home and remembers, oh, I am a person. I have a personality. I am somebody. And they have trained me and manipulated me to believe that I'm just this thing. It's annoying.
Right. Exactly.
It's annoying.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap this show up. There was a couple other things I want to talk about, but I think that was good. That was good enough. Oh no, actually no. I think we did talk about the one thing I told you to remind me about, which was the whole fact that Doctor Strange is with the shits.
Yeah, he is, and I was really confused by that because he's so serious in all the other movies, and now he's, hi Peter, what's up? How you doing?
Right.
Sure, I'll do a spell for you. Is he a crog, a green person? What you call him, people?
Man.
I
just as soon as you started saying it, I'm thinking like, wait a minute.
I thought he was one of them green people. That's shapeshift from the Captain Marvels.
Yeah. Right. All right, we're gonna see. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Appreciate you, Smooth, for joining us as well. Smooth, tell them where they can find you at, brother.
You can find me on Twitter at eTrentonGroomy. You can visit my blog at kingstruth.com. Catch me on Snapchat at the King's Truth. Y'all can actually catch me on the network tomorrow. We're gonna be doing the fans' perspective. So holla at me there. Thank y'all for having me. I enjoyed myself, and hopefully I'll be back.
All right. Chevy?
Yes. You can find me at Chevy the Superstar on Twitter, S the Superstar on Instagram, and oh no, that was wrong. Chevy the Superstar on Twitch, S the Superstar on Twitter and Instagram. Tomorrow I will be going live with Toya for 2 Snaps in a Circle at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are doing our finale for sequels. We are discussing Dr. Sleep. And that is such a good movie. I just started rewatching it, and it's really good.
I haven't seen that one. I was thinking about watching the what's the name, The Shining, and
The
then
Shining?
watching it. But then I was like,
I mean, that's
Really?
actually not a bad idea. It would just be more fun.
okay,
Honestly, it would be more fun to watch it like that
right,
because there's so
right.
many references to the original in Doctor Sleep.
That's what I figured. Well, it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Catch me everywhere on IG, Twitter, and TikTok as at Willie Styles. You can get at me at Willie.Styles on Snapchat. Don't forget to check out gamingwithstyles.com. That is your new location to find me playing video games, checking out all types of games from GTA to Red Dead Redemption, or even Fishing Planet. Or visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to this week, or catch me on williestyles.info for all my links. Like Smooth said, you're going to catch us all throughout the week, from our Monday night show at 10 p.m. with the GFT Radio Show, How to Hustle podcast with Hype on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. He just dropped a great show yesterday about marriage, and actually about divorce and why marriage doesn't work. So make sure you guys go check that out. Every Wednesday, you're going to check out Chevy and myself doing recaps and reviews. Every Thursday or every other Thursday, you're going to catch me doing Styles Radio Takeover. I'll be available next Thursday doing some hot tracks. But this Thursday, tomorrow, you're going to catch Smooth and Dame over at the Fans Perspective at 10 p.m. Two times a month, you're going to have Sex with Sunny at 6 p.m. Eastern. And again, introducing Gaming with Styles various times throughout the week. I've been off doing it. I'm going to try to hopefully pick it up either tonight or no, not tonight. I'm sorry. Tomorrow night after the Fans Perspective and or Friday. So I'll definitely be on playing some games. So check me out then. And yeah, that's it. So thanks again. And we will catch y'all tomorrow. We out.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.